righty, everybody. How are we doing? I want to make sure that we're good to go. I'm pretty sure I have all the right settings on, though I could be wrong. So let me know. We good? We all clean and green? Give me a thumbs up in the chat or oh my God. Yeah, all right, we're good. We're good. I appreciate it a lot, Jonah. And let's get it going. This was the 2025 T-Sport 200. And John Riggs says it right. That was an ass whooping. That totally was. Totally was an ass whooping. Lane Riggs gets the win, 160 laps, led a near perfect points race by sweeping the stages. Far and away the best truck out there by far. You like my Led Zeppelin shirt? Where did I buy it? I don't remember because I actually got this when I was 12 and it fit me like I was a clothing hanger at the time. So do not know where I got this shirt. I can't remember, but I all I remember is I think I got it in 2009. But let's get into it. This race was 200 laps, 3 cautions for 24 laps, 3 lead changes, a 1.864 second margin of victory for Lane Riggs, and a 1 hour, 40 minute, 14 second race. Then they're on the screen, at least on my end. Lane Riggs is freaking pumped, man. Whenever he wins, it's a fun race. No, that was past the Culpepper era. And that was the year Brett Favre was quarterback. But Lane Riggs gets the win, leads 160 laps. We got the points up right now, so I might as well take that picture and read them off. It's looking like it will be you have to win. With 2 races remaining, Enfinger plus 89, Honeycutt plus 73, Majeski minus or a plus 61, and Garcia minus 61, Rhodes minus 77. Yeah, anyone below the cut line has to win. It's just the brass tacks of it all, which, again, not surprised heading into this race and with how everybody performed. But yes, Lane Riggs gets the win. Corey Day with his best Truck Series run by far with a second place finish. Again, he's starting to come more and more into form. That's for sure. Then Friesen comes home with a third place run and Corey Heim fourth. He leads 20 laps. He also had the fastest lap today and clinched the regular season championship 2 races early because he's just kicking ass. And he'll probably finish fourth in the point standings when they get on into Phoenix. But hey, is what it is. He's been dominant, man. He has been really damn good. And I want to see just how good he can be and how many wins he can get and everything. By the way, I'm going to put the points in right now. That way y'all can see him on the bottom if you weren't, if you got here late or you didn't see him on the broadcast or anything like that. Not that there's, again, much to look at. It's settled point wise, but we'll put that on the bottom. I think we have a different font this week. Huh. I didn't know I could change these while I was live. The more you know, I guess. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm like learning this stuff live. I can like make different. Nope, never mind. I can't. I have to pay for more. I'm not going to pay for more. So we're going to leave that as is. But cool. But yeah, Heim gets a 4th place run, then Enfinger in 5th, 6th, Majeski, 7th is Smith, then Hemrick, Ankrum, and Chastain, the top 10. Raja Caruth finishes 11th. I will talk about him in a moment. He got involved in a caution. They did not show it on the broadcast. I'm not shocked that Fox missed it. Rhodes in 12th. Then Fenhouse and Gray, your lead lap finishers in 14th. 15th is Honeycutt, a lap down. Then Garcia, Queen, Mosek, Crafton, and Sutton, with Wood finishing 1 lap down, 21st. 2 laps down for Matt Mills in 22nd. Then Perez, Cruz, Boyd, Ruggiero, Breidenjinger down to 27th. 28th Muniz -3 laps off the pace. Then Greg Van Alst 6 laps down in 29th with Jordan Anderson. Alexander -7, and then the rest were out. Norm Benning 32nd. Waller, who had to have a driver change with Josh Rayoum, 33rd. Oliver 34th, and Cody Dennison in last place, 35th position. We're going to put the finishing order down at the bottom now. And I mean, what can you say about Riggs that we can't already say? I mean, it was just badass. It was a badass domination. But I want to know what you think in the chat. What do you think of this race out of 10? I thought kind of a 6. I get that it didn't have a ton of craziness, but I thought it was a decent race. There was passing through the pack. Tires mattered. There wasn't a bunch of stupidness that happened. I actually really enjoyed it. Lane, Scott Riggs, 7 race, -5 broadcast. Yep, I'm with you there. 7. Norm, 7, 7.5, 7.34, 7, 34, 7.34. I think I got you twice on that one. 7.38, 7.5, 7, 7. I'm just getting them as they come in. 6.5. 4th win and 45th start. Not bad. Not bad at all. At all. 7, 11. Nice. Nice cash. Look at Danny Dies. 7 out of 10. I like that. That's actually pretty good. We got a 3.5 out of 10. 6.6. 6 for Norm. I like it. Again, overall, I actually was pretty pleased with the race. I was entertained by it. You know, it was dominant, yes, but Lane Riggs at different points, you knew if he got buried back in the pack, it might take a little bit. The tires mattered enough, but not enough that it was like, oh, Darlington and you know, if Heim or Majeski stayed out, you know, they were going to get passed in a lap with Riggs on freshies or vice versa. And I like that. I like the balance of this race. It was difficult to pass, yes, but you had to set somebody up. It's, in my opinion, kind of reminds me of watching late models at the fairgrounds. You know, I had fun with it. You know, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for with it.
This is fun. We're having fun.
We are having fun, or at least most of us are, I think. Looking back at the race, one thing that also stuck out, and congrats to Eric on this because he gets his prediction right on NWP. Corey Heim jumped up to the lead, got to 1,000+ laps led on the season, 2 races left in the regular season. Corey Heim is just unreal with his domination. But once Lane Riggs got past him around lap 21 or so, the rest of the day was almost completely locked out. You had others charging up, Corey Day, Raja, others like that, but nobody, in my opinion, could hold a candle to that 34. And Lane Riggs did this last year, where at the end of the year or as the summer wound down, he started speeding up. You know, I don't want to compare them as drivers. I think they're vastly different drivers, and driving styles, I think, are fairly different. But it is reminiscent 2 years in a row now of like a Tony Stewart, where back in the day, Tony would get better as the summer went on. So, you know, I'm just saying. By the way, when it's not a layup, because when Eric predicted that, I think Heim was at like 500 or so, and it's a layup now, but it wasn't then. It was like a nice, you know, kind of. It was kind of like a free throw, you know. Should be good, but you don't know. But in the first stage, it was Riggs, Majeski, Smith, Enfinger, Heim, Ankrum, Caruth, Day, Rhodes, and Gray. This race, to me, it was Riggs, and then later on it was Day, but it was probably Heim and Majeski who were probably the second and third best trucks today. Majeski probably had it better on the long run to Heim having it better on the shorter run. And Dirty Duff brings up a good point. Short tracks are kind of Heim's only small weak spot. And he still finished 4th. He still ran top 5 pretty much all race long, except when different tire strategies and stuff and the shuffle happened. But those are ones that he'll definitely have to work on. And he can still win too, you know. But looking at the second stage, that's when some of the craziness happened. Ross Chastain's tire comes off on pit road and he like runs it over and then runs around the track, goes a lap down. Of course, again, they get a restart and it's just the 34 show. Small short story. If you weren't in here when the race was going on, I put this short story in there. I put it on my X, Twitter, whatever account. So I had my daughter in my arms, because her mom was getting a bottle ready. I was trying to calm her down, all that. And so I had her in front of the screen watching the truck race. And that's when they were following Chastain. It was like 15 laps or so. So it was like 5 minutes. I don't put my kid in front of a screen the whole time. It was like 5 minutes and then off and away. But she was really into it and it made me really happy. Everyone's like, one of us. And I just thought it was really cool. She started getting really excited when Ross Chastain's red truck came on screen. And I think it's probably just because the color red stands out or something like that, or just the way it looked on it. But she was locked in, man. She was locked in. I'm trying to get her early, trying to get her really, really early. I just thought it'd be a fun story to share. In all honesty, I get it has nothing to do with the race. I get people probably aren't that interested in it, but it's interesting to me. So I don't usually talk too much about personal life and stuff. I'll tell you what, though, it was the quick ass commercial that came that broke her attention, because as soon as the commercials came on, she started crying and looking away. So just saying, anecdotal evidence, the commercial breaks do not help bring new fans in. And she is the definition of a new fan. She's a new person. Yeah, she's a Ross fan. The funniest part is her mom's a Hamlin fan, so that makes it even funnier. And if Hamlin can be around a little while, I would love to see what the trash talk can be. Yeah, Fox is even pissing off babies. Yeah, before you know it, I'm going to teach her in the ways of complaining on the internet, and she'll come on here and complain about the playoffs and stages and all this other bullshit. That she already is. Right. I'm kidding. Obvious joke. Fox is making children cry. Oh man. Make sure to sing her a lullaby. Make sure her lullaby is Mama, I'm Coming Home Tonight. Well, so actually the one that I sing to her that really works is Backcountry by Avenged Sevenfold. Backcountry, and then Led Zeppelin, a lot of Led Zeppelin. But she does fall asleep to Ozzy too. So metalhead in the making too. But back to the race. The caution came out for Josh Rayoum, who came in for Waller. Fox, of course, missed the replay of it. That was until the team came along. Right? That was until the team came along that was wrecked out and showed the photo evidence of it. And he was taken out by Raja Caruth. It's pretty cut and dry what happened here. I want to bring it on screen. Love Raja, friend of the channel, friend of the NWP show. Love the guy. Pretty clear he got into the 22. Here. For those who are wondering what happened, this is what happened. Was it intentional? That's the thing. I didn't hear anything about it. Didn't see anything. But who knows? He got rajed. I have a feeling Raja probably wouldn't appreciate being used in that regard, but whether it was intentional or not, the 71 got into the 22, and the 22 ended up being out of the race. 33rd, Waller gets the finish. Rayoum was in the truck. Yeah, great job, Fox. Again, I'm not even surprised at this point by their ineptitudes. But other than that, it is clean and green, other than the stage caution too. Riggs winning that stage. Friesen on fresh tires tried to get up there, but ultimately just couldn't make the full charge to the front. Finishes second in the stage. Rhodes in third. Enfinger, Smith, Honeycutt, Majeski, Heim, Fenhouse, and Mosak. This is what shuffled the field up. This is why the running order changed. It's why it wasn't just the 34, 11, and 98 up front the entire time. Because, again, they were the dominant ones for the first half of this race or more. But with 71 to go, top six stay out, 52 in the 9 up front. Friesen gets it after a little bit of a battle but it was Riggs. Heim got ahead of Riggs, and only like 10 laps or so after the restart, Riggs blew right by him, blew his doors off, flew out. Like, I think he finished something like 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the 11. Again, that 34 is just another league tonight. 50. I mean, again, he passed Heim with 60 to go, I think, for fourth. And 5 laps later, he's going past the 52 for the lead, off to the races. Yeah, Day at least come up there and make stuff interesting for second. But that was just, again, a good old-fashioned ass whooping, if there ever was one. There's not much more to really say. But yeah, happy birthday to Stuart Friesen. Happy birthday to him. But again, there was not much that anyone could have done. They would have had to have a lucky caution and then him stay out on the track and everyone pit for tires for a closing run that would probably be under 10 laps, give or take. And even then, if he got a good enough lead, I think it would still be a pretty damn good battle and fight on his part. But yeah, ultimately he just gets the dominant win. Sometimes you have awesome finishes, sometimes you have madness, sometimes you just plain have belt to ass whooping. And that's what we had tonight. I'm okay with it. After some of the stuff we see in the truck series the last couple of years, I'm okay with just good old fashioned racing. So go to the super chat cool down lap. Not many tonight, but all good. One here, Andrew Winslow with the 27-month member chat saying Matt Crafton is old. He is very old and he's phasing out. I want to remind y'all, and you can see it closer on the bottom line once the standings go through. So we'll be live tomorrow after the Xfinity race, and then we're going to be live before and after the Brickyard 400. We'll do a pre-race for it. I'll tell you that I'll get the time to you tomorrow. I just need to make sure that I have everything in my day scheduled out right, so I'm able to make a good one. There's plenty to talk about going into it, and of course we'll do the post-race as normal. So keep an eye out for those. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. We do this after every one of the major national series races. And if my math is correct, because we have the 33 Xfinity, we have 25 for the trucks. And then when you count the non-points races, we have 39 for Cup. So we do this after every one of the 97 major races during the season. We do 97 of these streams a year. We don't miss them, baby. We don't miss them. And I don't want to miss you there. So come along for the ride. Derek here says Brent Cruz was kind of disappointed today, especially after seeing Corey Day's performance. Also, trial on trucks were just off today. So I get, though, the inability of some probably to have that back and forth. Trivia. Meant trivia. Okay. But I get probably the inability to go back and forth with like ARCA and trucks. It all depends on the ride. It depends on, how wipe the driver is too, because a lot of these drivers aren't used to longer races. ARCA is a way different, way different. And Derek meant Tricon. Yeah, and they were off. But I wouldn't read too much into it, and I don't think that's what you're doing. I will say, though, I'm happy for Corey Day running well because he's been getting so much shit, and so many people have been putting him up as like, oh my God, he's the next big thing, and I agree, Derek. Autocorrect is bad, and I'm glad to see him have a good run, and kind of get some of those people off his back for a little bit, So, if he can get a win, in one of these races he's running, whether it be trucks or Xfinity, I think it'll go a long way in giving him some leeway with fans. But with all of the hype that people are given to, I he's going to have people microscope watching him. And that's going to happen too, you know, kind of going back to what you said with a lot of these guys like Brent Cruz and others that maybe go back and forth from the ARCA race or been hyped up. And you're going to have a lot of this stuff. And Carl Calvert in here bring, you know, Zilich's next big thing, hashtag Zillbillies Unite. With Connor Zilich doing so well and him being hyped up the same way, like this is, I think for a lot of fans, I think a lot of y'all older fans definitely know this for sure. But for a lot of newer fans, probably don't remember like back in the day how many times the line was, this is the, and say it with me, they said it all the way through Larson, the next Jeff Gordon, right? It was every young driver coming up, whether it be Casey Atwood, Casey Kane, Kyle Larson. For about 15 years, it was, this guy is the next Jeff Gordon. Sorry, I was watching Jeff Corwin today with the kiddo. You know, it's the next Jeff Gordon, right? And now it's the next Kyle Larson. And we're going to hear that probably for the next 10 years or so, unless Zilich turns into someone awesome. That's the next, you know, Connor Zilich. You know, they said about Casey Mears, right? They said it about so many people through the years. So we're going to get this. It's going to be the hype machine. You got to have NASCAR media. They got to have their storylines that they mow through over time. I just like him, you know, with just like Day, just like Zilich, just like, you know, Caruth. I want these younger guys to be viewed in just their own light, not be constantly compared to all-time greats like Jeff Gordon. Kyle Larson probably one day is going to reach that level. You know, and if Zilich does, like, they're going to compare everyone to Zilich, which work in progress. That I think it's so unfair to a lot of these younger drivers to compare them to these just superstars, these monumental talents, before they're even getting a couple truck races in, before they're even making Xfinity starts, right? Because that's how you lead to these people like being viewed as busts, and then everyone's down on them and all that stuff. I mean, look at Joey Logano. Like, the start of his Cup career was not very good. He lucked into a win in 2009, and he really only had one good win to his name at Gibbs, and his career looked over before he was 25. And now he's one of the best drivers out there. Hate him all you want. One of the best drivers out there. You know, exactly. See Casey Atwood. Dude got just overhyped to hell. Probably wasn't that bad of a driver. Just stuff didn't, you know, go right. And you can kind of look back at a lot of that stuff from then. You know, it's like, I don't know. The hype machines are going overboard. I've been guilty of it before. Everyone's been guilty of it at some point because it's exciting. But I hope so. I hope they're viewed. I mean, Reed Sorensen's another one that was viewed. And to be fair, I think Reed had potential, but just, it was a bad time too in the 2000s with that. Yeah. And with Logano, he's a 3-time champion now. Say what you want about the system. I know there's been a lot of that today on the social media side of, or on the Twitter side of it, especially. But he is, and he's won a ton of races. Speaking of that, really quick, if you watch NWP, cool thing happened is one of y'all, I forgot who it was. I'm sorry. One of y'all included the chat poll that Danny put on this week about the point side of it. And we're not going to get into a big discussion about, but Mark Martin actually retweeted it and used it in his arguments today. And I wasn't even thinking of the point side of it. Like, y'all know where I stand on it, but I was just like, hey, cool. We got retweeted by Mark Martin. That's awesome. So I saw Mark Martin retweet, like a notification that said Mark Martin retweeted or reposted a post that you were tagged in. And I was like, no shit, cool. So thank you. I appreciate it. Because it was the poll that he put up, it was a poll Jeff put up, and it was a screenshot of the poll that Danny put up on the podcast. So cool stuff. Maybe we can get Mark back on at some point. Lord knows he has plenty to say, and I could listen to that man talk about NASCAR for years in a row without stopping. we'll get on that. We'll try and make that happen. But thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Again, we'll be live after the Xfinity race tomorrow, before and after the Brickyard 400. So really exciting weekend. Indy, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Y'all have a great Friday night. I'll see you later. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.